Good morning. It is Monday. Finally, after thinking the past 2 days were Monday. This is the river that we camp next to. It's really pretty. The first 2.5, 3 miles are flat-ish. There's not a lot of climbing today. There's a town in 4 miles I thought about going into for I don't know what reason. It just sounded like a neat place to go to. But I want to get moving today. My feet hurt. My plan A is a shelter in 10 miles, which should be relatively no problem to get to. However, that would make for a 16-mile day tomorrow. And yesterday, my 16 miles, I got it done in about 10 hours. Lots of breaks, though, in between. But I also want to make it to the post office before it closes so I can sort out my resupply. But enough about tomorrow, because that's tomorrow. So 10 miles to a shelter, 13 miles to a campsite. And this probably won't happen, but I just like to keep it in mind. 17 miles to an additional shelter site. There's no, in Connecticut, like New York and New Jersey, they want you to camp in designated camp spots. I mean, along the whole trail, you should leave no trace and camp in the designated campsites. But, some people just go farther because they want to, or they have to stop because they get to a point where they can't go any farther. It's too dark or they're too tired. But I've got 3 spots I could go to today. I'm starting pretty late. It is 7 o'clock. So if I was going to do a 17-mile day, that's a pretty late start. Although there is a lot of flat. I don't know what the rocks look like, but the elevation profile is pretty okay. But again, rocks. But yeah, 17-mile day today would make a 9-mile day tomorrow, and that would be pretty sweet. There's a lot of condensation on my tent last night, which means there was condensation in my tent last night, making my sleeping bag get a little wet. There's also a lot of pollen on my tent this morning. I use my wet wipes to get clean before dinner. Try to set up my tent before I eat because I get very dirty setting up my tent. And so I clean my hands and the dirt under my nails before I eat. And in the morning when I take apart my tent, like this morning, everything was just like damp and wet, and I have dirt everywhere. And you get dirtiest first thing in the morning. Yeah, just walking along, next couple miles. That's all. I just safely crossed that, but there is a blue blaze that adds a little bit of road walking if the water is very high and impassable. And my socks didn't get wet either, so big plus. Oh, my phone's really foggy because of the humidity. Or it's my sweat. The AT is joking around. Jokester. This feature has a name, but I can't remember what it is. But I gotta go through that crevice with my pack. Ugh. Sitting in a shelter, taking a break. Bags out there. Get out of the sun. It's not a terrible shelter. But it's raining caterpillars out there. It's so, there's so many caterpillars in here too. It's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. There's so many bugs around me, but I'm so tired right now. Yeah, I'm exhausted. I don't know if I'm gonna stop here or not. It's an okay shelter. It's just raining caterpillars, man. It's so gross.